Very excited to welcome our next guest to the show, the Democratic nominee for mayor of Buffalo, India Walton. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're very glad to have you here. I speak for most of the team at the very least in saying that we were very excited at your recent primary win. It drew national attention, obviously, when you beat Byron Brown. And I want to start there. Were you expecting, well, first of all, I'm sure you were, as any candidate, surprised by the election, but the fact that it really became immediately a national thing.
That is the surprising part. I know that many people are surprised I won, but we had a strategy that we worked. And I said from the beginning, I wasn't entering the race without intention of winning. But the national attention has really been astonishing. But we're loving it here in Buffalo. We get known for so many terrible things. It's nice to finally be recognized for something good.
Okay, you might then be answering my second question, but I was gonna say I'm always eager to find out where I'm wrong or where I'm doing something that's not good. So when you won and the videos were coming out of you reacting, and we were hearing your initial speech about the victory, it was very exciting. And as a leftist, over the past few years, I've been desperate for people like you to win races. So. But I sort of see, like, I kind of need that validation that people with your sort of political philosophy can compete and can win against incumbents. But that's me looking at it again from a very national lens. Whereas obviously you're focused on your experience in Buffalo and what you're going to hopefully do as mayor of Buffalo. Does it detract in any way the sort of national focus from what you're trying to do more locally?
It doesn't. The national focus was actually, again, a part of our strategy. Buffalo is so entrenched, and although we live in a city that's 65% Democrats, we tend to be a little bit more moderate. So we knew that in order to be able to be really competitive and fundraise, that we had to get out of the immediate Western New York area. We thought that we build a cross-state coalition with a lot of support from New York City, but I didn't have any idea that we'd be getting donations from Alaska and Minnesota.
Yeah. So you ran, as the Chiron is saying, you won the primary to potentially become the first socialist mayor. That's something that, that label, like Republicans love to pounce on it. A lot of Democrats like to pounce on it. So how did you make it through all of those attacks? What worked in you having the label, not running from it, and winning?
Just being authentic and transparent. I think that we allow a lot of times on the left our language to be used against us because it's things that we understand. I know what it means to be a democratic socialist, but average voters don't. So when you start talking in terms of, we all enjoyed our stimulus checks, we appreciated having access to our COVID vaccines and SNAP benefits for families with children. That is what socialism means when we are making policy. And that is what Buffalonians in the third poorest city in the nation really need to lift people out of poverty.
And so is that largely like, I want to get at what the term means to you. Is it about that? Is it about delivering material benefits? How else does it influence the way that you intend to lead Buffalo?
I intend to co-govern. To me, being a socialist means that our government is meant to serve the people. I am a leader, but I am a servant first. And I am interested in solutions that matter most to everyday working class folks, and that they should be active participants in decisions that affect their lives.
It may be playing into that a bit. You had a line in the speech that you gave, I believe it was the night of your victory. You said, "We are the workers, we do the work." And I have been desperate to have more of a focus nationally, politically, by our elected officials on the people who are actually building the buildings, creating the services, actually doing it. Do you see that becoming a thing that Democrats can perhaps learn to focus a little bit more on?
I certainly hope so. The majority of us are the workers, right? And for so long, we've made policies that prioritize people who are already fine. And I've said that a lot. The rich people will be okay. We have to turn an eye toward those of us who have existed on the margins of society, and those of us who make up the overwhelming number of the population of the United States and cities like Buffalo, especially post-industrial Rust Belt. We've suffered for a long time, and this myth of rugged individualism is what's been killing us. So I'm excited to just breathe new life and shift the entire culture of how government is supposed to function and who it exists to serve.
It certainly seems like a time for that after the last year of what the US and the world has gone through. So you defeated the incumbent, Byron Brown. You beat him, but he's not going away. And so the race isn't done. You have the general election November 2nd. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, about your reaction to when you found out that he was going to be running this write-in candidacy?
I really wasn't that surprised. We recently got rid of this school speed zone camera thing. He implemented it with no community input. The community fought back. He doubled down on it, right? I use that as an example of his leadership style. When he makes a mistake, he's not going to admit to it. He's going to blame everyone else. So I'm not at all shocked. I think it's unfortunate that right now we could be spending time healing and pursuing a peaceful and productive transition. And instead, I'm still campaigning very aggressively while having to put a new administration together. So not at all shocked, but I'm taking it very serious. And I think it just speaks to the current mayor's character.
Yeah, I haven't seen any polls or anything like that, but maybe this is combining two things that we've talked about. The fact that your race became this big national thing. Do you expect that there could be sort of like national centrist support for his write-in candidacy because of what people might fear about what you becoming the mayor might represent, about a different way forward for the Democratic Party?
I actually don't think he's going to attract a lot of centrists. Actually, his write-in campaign is being powered by right-wingers, police unions, large developers, and corporations. And I think that especially in Buffalo, like the voters are seeing right through it. It's getting kind of ugly. There are personal attacks. There are people harassing my family and my neighbors. But I think that all of those things are proof that this is the right thing to do. And if those who have the values of the right are afraid, then that means that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'll continue to do so.
Awesome. And finally, you've talked a bit about your history. You don't have the exact same background as some other national politicians. I consider it a strength of yours. We here at the Damage Report, we've had probably hundreds of candidates on who've run in primaries and in general elections and stuff like that. And many of them have not gone through the normal sort of way that you're supposed to, climb the Democratic Party apparatus. So I'm curious if you have any advice or any words for anyone watching this that might be thinking about trying to follow in your footsteps, winning a race like this.
I will say it in the words of one of my favorite people, Senator Bernie Sanders. The way to beat organized money is with organized people. And that's what we did. Organizing works. But just do it and stay true to yourself, stay true to your values. And I think it's the authenticity that is the draw for most people. I'm just like them, and we need more of us. And I would also say to just use the networks that are available to you. The outpouring of support has been overwhelming. So many progressive leaders from all over the country have called to lend their support. And I think that this has to be a national moment of coalition building so that we can get people in place.
That's awesome. Well, as we said, the general election will be November 2nd. If people want to find out more about your candidacy, where can they do that?
they can visit our website, www.indiawalton.com. You can go there, sign up for email updates, volunteer, donate. Fundraising is going to be super critical for this race. And don't be shy, because we're phone banking from all over the country. So even if you're in Wichita, you can still volunteer for the campaign.
That's awesome. India Walton, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Hope to touch base with you as we get further into the campaign.
Thank you so much.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.